to my wife that we should offer higher wages. She nodded and adjusted the salaries up a level. Operations at the shop became much smoother. The two of us finally didn't have to be at the store every single day, especially the live stream room. The young staff members picked things up very quickly. Tumang only appeared during specific time slots, but every time she went live, the comment section would explode. The title, Fruit Beauty. I'm not sure when it started, but it spread far and wide. That afternoon, Tumang's phone rang. After she hung up, she told me, the management of the old market notified her to come and collect her deposit. How much? 2,000 yuan. I laughed. That's not even half of what we make in a day now. Still, we can't just leave it.
Why give the management a freebie?
She gave me a playful glare. Then she started putting on her shoes. 20 minutes later, Tuming was standing at the entrance of that familiar alley. The rundown little fruit stall had a new owner. The new sign they'd put up looked very bright. She stared at it for a few seconds. She shook her head and turned toward the management office. All of this was what she told me. After she returned home, inside the management office, as soon as Manager Zhou saw her, he became so enthusiastic, it was like he was a different person. Once the paperwork was done, Manager Zhou pulled her aside to chat. He asked where we were living now. Tumang blurted out, near Wanjiahui, in Wenxin Jiayuan. Manager Zhou's eyes nearly popped out of his head. Wenxin Jiayuan. You guys are living in Wenxin Jiayuan. Tumang was confused.
Why? What's wrong?
Manager Zhou didn't answer. He turned around, found a document, and slapped it down in front of her. It was a copy of an official document with a red stamp. The title was very long. Tumang's eyes caught a few keywords. North China Affiliated Elementary School. Site selection, Hainan Gaoyu Complex. School District Division, Naihuang Yixia District.
Wenxin.
Her gaze moved down one line. There it was. Wenxin Jiayuan has been included in the school's enrollment zone. Below that was some small print. The announcement date was 3 days ago. What does this mean? Tumang didn't react immediately. Sister Zhou, who was standing nearby, started rambling. Your area is a top-tier school district now. The North China Practice Elementary School is moving there. That's the best school in all of Ninghai. Those old houses in Wenxin Jiayuan that nobody wanted before, guess how much they're going for per square meter now? Tumang's mouth hung open, but she couldn't find the words. 130,000 yuan. Sister Zhou held up her fingers. 130,000, and people are still fighting to buy them. She assumed Tumang was just a renter. Her face was full of pity. Oh dear, if only you'd bought a place there sooner. Renting is just paying off the landlord's debt for them. Those owners are making a fortune now. Think about it. 130,000 per square meter. Even a small 100 square meter flat is worth over 10 million yuan. Tumang froze. Over 10 million yuan. Wenxin Jiayuan, 130,000 per square meter. The complex where she owned 4 houses. 4 whole houses. She told me later that at that moment her legs went completely weak. She had to lean on the table just to slowly sit down. Sister Zhou was startled.
What's the matter?
Your face is as white as a sheet. Are you feeling all right? Tumang shook her head. She opened her mouth to speak, but her voice was trembling. Sister Zhou, how much did you say the houses in Wenxin Jiayuan are worth now? 130,000 yuan.
Why?
Tumang didn't say another word. She just sat there, dazed, staring at the stack of documents on the table. She didn't move an inch. Then, she dialed my phone number. When my phone vibrated, I was in the shop checking the inventory list. The screen showed Dear Wife, so I picked up. There was no sound from the other end. Meng Meng. Zuisheng. Wenxin Jiayuan. It's up to 130,000. I froze. The North China Affiliated Elementary School is right next door. The school district policy has been implemented. 130,000 yuan per square meter. I leaned back against the shelf. I was actually a bit surprised. In my past life, this news wasn't announced until a year later. In this life, it's half a year early. Meng Meng, come home first. Well, go check with the real estate agent. She gave a soft okay and then paused. Zuisheng, when you bought those 4 houses, did you already know something? I smiled. How could I have known? If I had known beforehand, I would have borrowed money to buy up the whole complex. Why would I even bother opening a fruit shop? There was silence on the other end for a few seconds. Then she gave a soft She hung up and rushed back, but someone else had already beaten her there. A black Mercedes was parked right in front of the shop. Lu Xingrong strode inside. Little brother, you've heard about the school district news for Wenxin Jiayuan, right? I set the order form down. I just found out. I was away on business. I came straight here the moment I got off the plane. He leaned in close and lowered his voice. Little brother, tell me the truth. Did you know about this policy beforehand? I let out a slow smile. Brother Liu, if I could predict school district changes, why would I still be in the fruit business? Lu Xingrong stared at me for a few seconds. Finally, he let out a loud laugh. Little brother, there are plenty of lucky people in this world, but nobody is ever as lucky and precise as you are. I just smiled and didn't reply. When Tu Meng returned, her face was still flushed. The three of us went straight to Fly High Real Estate. We could tell something was up the moment we arrived. A massive crowd was gathered outside. The doors were nearly bursting from the pressure of the people. Inside, it was even more packed. Are there any units left in Wenshin Jiayuan? I don't care about the layout.
I'll pay cash.
Zhou Fulai squeezed his way out from the crowd. He was drenched in sweat. His eyes lit up the moment he saw me. He rushed over to greet us. Mr. Chen, you're here. The customers nearby all stared in confusion. Why was this agency boss acting like he'd just seen his own father? I smiled. Manager Zhou, business seems to be going well. It's all thanks to you. Zhou Fulai bowed and scraped. He led us into a small private lounge. Mr. Chen, are you here to sell today? Zhou Fulai's eyes were sparkling. The units in Wenshin Jiayuan, those ones? Tu Meng bit her lip. The one on the 5th floor and the one on the 3rd floor. We're keeping the penthouse for ourselves. As for the last one, let's just wait and see. Zhou Fulai nodded repeatedly. He started doing the math. His pen scratched across the paper as the numbers appeared. He pushed the paper toward me. Mr. Chen, the 5th floor unit is 98 square meters. A conservative estimate would be 12.5 million yuan. The 3rd floor unit is 95 square meters. That's about 12.3 million. Together, that's 24.8 million yuan. I saw Tu Meng's fingers tremble slightly. I nodded. Fine, let's go with that price. Zhou Fulai kept nodding. Then he remembered something. Mr. Chen, about the commission. I laughed. Manager Zhou, you can't waive it this time, can you? Zhou Fulai was stunned for a moment. A complex look crossed his face. Mr. Chen, last time you told me that you'd let me earn the commission back next time. I thought you were just being polite, so I didn't take it to heart.
But you actually came back.
He looked at me with an intense, burning gaze. Lu Xingrong's eyes swept over us. Tu Meng also turned to look at me. I gave a small smile and put my arm around Tu Meng's shoulders. It has nothing to do with me. It's because my wife is as kind-hearted as she is beautiful. Hearing that, Tu Meng's face turned bright red. She gave me a playful little smack. My phone vibrated. 24.8 million yuan had been deposited into the account. I took a quick glance and tucked the phone back into my pocket. But Tu Meng couldn't stop staring at her own phone screen. She checked that string of numbers over and over. She even pointed at them with her finger, counting the digits several times before finally looking up.
Zuisheng.
Am I a multimillionaire now?
I nodded.
That's right.
But I don't feel any different. She frowned, looking completely bewildered. The numbers are in the phone. The house is still right there. The shop is still as busy as ever. How did I suddenly become a millionaire? Lu Xingrong, standing nearby, burst out laughing. Sister-in-law, a wealthy person has to live like a wealthy person. That's the only way to really feel it. Little brother, take my advice. Move into a big villa. My company has a project over at Quihu. We just released a batch of detached villas. The environment is great, and they're very private. They have gardens and garages. I'll save the best one for you. Consider it my way of saying thank you. He spoke with total sincerity. I understood exactly what he was thinking. Now that the school district news for Wenshin Jiayuan was out, the value of the houses he'd hoarded and his shares in one Jiahui had skyrocketed even more than mine. His profits from this were no less than if he'd developed 2 entire real estate projects. He wanted to build an even closer bond with me, but I shook my head. I appreciate the offer, Brother Liu, but we aren't moving. Tu Meng, standing beside me, nodded vigorously. Exactly. I'm not tired of that sunroom in the penthouse yet, and the roses on the balcony just started blooming. I have to go out and look at them every morning. It would be such a shame to leave them behind. When she said those words, her voice carried the kind of excitement only found in young girls. I looked at her, and the resolve in my heart grew even stronger. In my past life, there wasn't a single luxury villa I hadn't lived in, but those massive, empty houses, walking back and forth alone, the echoes were louder than any human voice. Now with the three of us together, huddled under the warm glass dome on the rooftop, sipping tea and watching the stars. It was better than any extravagant mansion could ever be. Seeing us both shake our heads, Lu Xingrong didn't push the matter. Instead, he immediately pivoted to a new idea. All right, if you don't want to move, then forget it.
But what about a car?
Right. A car.
With the way your business is going now,
You really ought to have a decent vehicle.
you'll be dealing with clients later on. You can't keep using a delivery truck to get around forever. He paused for a moment, then added another point. Besides, my sister-in-law is the fruit she now. If Shez's seen taking the bus, her fans definitely won't stand for it. That last comment made Shuming burst out laughing. She glanced at me, her eyes showing a hint of hesitation. I thought about it for a second and nodded. All right, there is an auto show next week. Let's go take a look. Half an hour later, we returned to Wanjiahui. Before the car even came to a full stop, I sensed something was wrong. A crowd had gathered in front of the shop. What was going on? Were they customers or just onlookers? Several men were blocking the entrance, hands on their hips and cigarettes dangling from their mouths. Through the hazy smoke, they radiated pure malice. My heart sank. I pushed the car door open and strode forward, shoving through the crowd. When I saw the state of the shop, my blood boiled. The live stream tripod was smashed on the floor, and the phone screen was shattered into pieces. The fruit baskets that were usually neatly arranged had been kicked over and trashed. Ogan tangerines were rolling all over the floor. The female employees were cowering in a corner, their faces pale with terror. Right where the live stream usually took place, the spot where Shumang always sat, was a middle-aged man. He had a buzz cut, a gold chain as thick as a thumb around his neck, and was sitting with his legs crossed. He was casually rotating 2 feng shui walnuts in his hand. He squinted at me, not even bothering to stand up. You, the boss? I glanced around the shop, my voice flat. What do you want? The buzz-cut man tisked, slamming the 2 walnuts onto the table. Let me introduce myself. The name's Brother Yong. I run a trading company, and am looking to expand lately. I've got my eye on this spot of yours. He stood up and got right in my face, looking me up and down. This place is nice. Right by the north gate and set up for live streaming. Business must be booming, huh? I didn't say a word. He continued. I'll give you a price. 50,000. Take it and go open your shop somewhere else. I'm taking over this lease. He patted my shoulder. Kid, give me some face here. Pack up and get out today. I looked down at the spot where he had patted me, then looked back up. Brother Yong, was it? This shop isn't for sale. Brother Yong glared at me. Kid, maybe you didn't hear me right. I said, give me some face. Are you going to take it or not? I let out a cold laugh. Just then, the car door behind us opened. Lu Xingrong strode over. Who's causing trouble here? Brother Yong turned around, his eyes narrowing. A sycophantic smile instantly plastered onto his face. Oh, look at that! Chairman Lu.
What brings you here?
Chairman Lu, what brings you here? Is this little shop under your protection? Lu Xingrong walked up to my side and scoffed. Protection. I'm the one who developed this entire Wanjiahui complex. It's my property. I'll give it to whoever I damn well please. He took a step forward. Who the hell do you think you are, coming onto my turf to play gangster? Brother Yong's expression shifted rapidly, his jaw tightening. In the end, he had no choice but to swallow his rage. President Liu, why put it like that? I just came here to talk business. Harmony brings wealth, right? Talk business. Lu Xingrong pointed at the smashed tripod on the floor, and the bruised fruit scattered everywhere. Is this how you talk business? Brother Yong gave a forced laugh but didn't answer. He turned his head to look at me, his eyes full of venom. Fine. Kid, since President Liu is here today, I'll give him face. He walked to the door, then looked back one last time. But you'd better think long and hard about whether someone can protect you for the rest of your life. He waved his hand dismissively. The men followed him and vanished into the crowd. Silence returned to the shop. The young girls couldn't hold it back anymore and burst into tears. Shumeng rushed in from outside and threw her arms around me. Are you okay? I'm fine, I said, patting her back while staring out the door. Lu Xingrong spoke up. Listen, kid, that guy, Lu Yong, specifically targets successful shops. He keeps a pack of thugs under him. He only left today because of me, but He's not the type to let a grudge go. In the future, you'll have to, I know. Brother Lu, thank you for today. I didn't say anything else. I just quietly knelt down and picked up the sugar tangerines scattered on the floor, one by one, carrying them back to the kitchen. The next day, the police station suddenly called me. Is this Chen Zuisheng? Your driver, Sun Jian, just got into a fight with some people. He's in the hospital right now. I froze. A fight. It's about old Sun.
You should come down here.
Shu Meng and I rushed to the hospital. We found the ward, and when I pushed the door open, I saw old Sun lying in bed. His head was wrapped in gauze, and one of his eyes was a bruised purple mess, swollen so badly it was just a tiny slit. A woman was sitting on a chair by the bed, her eyes red from crying. That must be his wife. 2 police officers were standing by the window. One was taking notes, while the other watched me with his arms crossed. When old Sun saw us, he struggled to sit up. I moved quickly to press him back down.
Don't move. What happened?
Old Sun opened his mouth, but no words came out. His wife's tears started flowing again, her voice choking up.
Boss Chen.
My husband would never go looking for trouble. Hez, an honest man. I know. I looked at old Sun. Brother Sun, take your time. Tell me. Old Sun took a ragged breath and began to recount what happened today. He had just finished loading a shipment of dragon fruit. As he was driving out of the market gates, a group of men suddenly swarmed out from the sidewalk. They were armed with clubs and bricks, without a single word. They started smashing the truck. Some of them even climbed into the back and threw all the freshly loaded dragon fruit onto the road. Crate after crate was smashed to pieces on the pavement. Old Sun was a veteran. He jumped out of the truck and managed to take down 2 of them, but there were just too many of them. No matter how good he was at fighting, he couldn't fend off 7 or 8 guys surrounding him. He took a heavy blow to the back of the head. Before he passed out, he saw them destroying the rest of the goods and slashing the truck's tires. By the time he woke up, he was already in the hospital. When old Sun finished, he gritted his teeth so hard. His jaw muscles bulged with fury. I walked out of the room with the 2 officers.
Officer, about this.
I said, handing over a cigarette.
Officer, about this.
I said, handing over a cigarette. The older officer took it. He put it in his mouth but didn't light it. That driver of yours, is he a veteran?
Yes.
Has never been the type to start trouble. The officer nodded. Those guys were fast. By the time we got there, all that was left was a pile of smashed fruit. Their license plates were covered up, and the surveillance cameras only caught a few blurry backs. We couldn't see any faces. So what happens now? A case has been opened, the officer said, glancing at me. But you know how it is. Unless there's a major organized crime sweep, cases like this are hard to solve. I understood. I walked back to the door of the ward. Xu Meng happened to be coming out. She had already given old Sun's wife 8,000 yuan. She told her to let old Sun focus on recovering. The shop's losses didn't matter. He should only come back to work when he was fully healed. During his recovery, his full salary would still be paid. Old Sun's wife followed her out, clutching Xu Meng's hand. 2 moved to even speak. As we walked out of the hospital gates, Xu Meng asked me what the police said. I told her the case was filed, but catching them would be difficult. She frowned. Then what do we do? Should we ask Liu Jinggrong for help? I shook my head. No need to involve him. The law has its ways, and the underworld has its own rules. Don't worry.
I'll handle this.
I called Gu Weidong. At noon the next day, a black commercial van pulled up in front of the shop. The driver got out and opened the door. With the utmost respect, Xu Meng watched from a distance, looking a bit uneasy. I didn't explain much and just got in the car. The van twisted through several alleys and stopped at the entrance of an old neighborhood. The alley was deep, lined with old-style residential buildings, with peeling walls. We walked all the way to the very end. There was a noodle shop there. The sign was famous, though the characters had almost completely faded. I pushed the door open and went in. There were only 5 or 6 tables inside. Only one person was sitting at the very back. Weidong was hunched over, eating noodles. When he saw me, he pointed to the chair next to him and told me to sit. Want some? I glanced at his bowl. The color was dark and unappealing, and the noodles were unevenly cut. No thanks. He looked up at me. You're certainly blunt. If it's not good, why eat it? He stared blankly for a moment, then laughed. Chen Zuisheng, I can't tell if you're confident or just arrogant. He set his chopsticks down. But you're right. It's not good at all. But years ago, this stuff saved my life. I listened in silence as he told his story. During those specific years, my parents were persecuted because of their overseas connections. My sister and I were left with no one to care for us. We nearly starved to death. An old neighbor would bring us a bowl of these noodles every day. He poked at a few strands with his chopsticks, buckwheat mixed with elm bark flour. Hard to swallow, but it kept us full. Later, after I made it big, I went back to find that neighbor, but they had passed away long ago. He paused for a beat. But I still come here for a bowl every now and then, just to remind myself where I came from. I looked at the bowl of noodles and stayed silent for a few seconds. Brother Gu, let me say something that might be hard to hear. Eating well is the best way to honor the past. He looked up, You think eating like a pauper every day means you haven't forgotten your roots. I shook my head. That's just making yourself feel virtuous. If you really want to honor your roots, then eat the best food, wear the finest clothes, and live the best life possible. Do it so that the starving child you once were can see that we survived and that we're living better than anyone else. Weidong stared at me for several seconds. Fair point. He wiped his mouth. His expression returned to normal. Let's talk business. That Liu Yang is just a small fry, but the man behind him is Lai III from Changjiang Company. Lai III spent his early years in the underworld, but he's cleaned up his act and even got a seat on the District Political Consultative Conference. Guidong looked disdainful. I remarked, Hez already made it to shore, yet Hez still that arrogant. Hez not his own master. Guidong leaned back in his chair. Hez just a knife in someone else's hand. It's not that he wants to be arrogant, it's that, if he isn't, he'll be replaced by a sharper knife. I nodded. So, he hasn't truly made it to shore yet. Guidong smiled. I'll take care of this for you. Thanks. Don't thank me yet. He looked at me. Next week is my daughter's birthday. I'm planning a small party. Bring your daughter along. I looked at him. The father-daughter relationship is going well. I take it. A flash of tenderness crossed Gu Weidong's face. Thanks to your information. After I brought Nuanuan back, I've put a lot of effort into being there for her. I've put all my outside work on hold lately, just to stay home and play with her every day. He paused. She grew up without a father. Now she has one. But she doesn't have many friends. I want to introduce her to some kids her age. How old is your daughter? 5. My Nuanuan is 6. Perfect. They can play together. He looked at me. Bring your wife and daughter over next weekend. I nodded.
Will do.
When I got home, Xu Meng was watering the roses on the balcony. I told her everything. When she heard the watering can in her hand stopped midair.
Guidong.
The friend you mentioned last time. That's the one. Xu Meng was clearly getting nervous.
What's his family like?
What should I wear?
What should Qian wear? Do we need to bring a gift? I couldn't help but laugh.
Meng.
Don't be so tense. She took a deep breath. I've just never been to an occasion like this. This Gu Weidong you keep talking about. I've heard you mention him a few times. He sounds like Hez from some prestigious, noble family. I thought about it for a moment. The patriarch of their family is indeed a Gu. They really are a prestigious lineage. Xu Meng's face went pale, but then I quickly added, as for Gu Weidong himself, he's the biggest black sheep in that house. We hit it off because we're both kind of good-for-nothings. Hez just a guy drifting through life. Xu Meng shot me a glare. I put my arm around her shoulder and told her not to overthink it. Tomorrow I'll take you and Qian to buy some clothes. Then, well, head to the auto show to pick out a car. Well, drive the new car next week. Well, show up in style and make you proud. They're really just an ordinary family. Maybe even a bit less well-off than us right now. She was amused by my teasing and gave me a playful swat. The next day,
Eat the most high-end women's boutique in the Ninghai shopping center.
I picked out a cream-colored dress for Xu Meng. She took the dress into the fitting room. A few minutes later, the door opened and she stepped out. I was stunned. The dress fit her perfectly. The cream color accentuated her porcelain skin, with her hair draped over her shoulders. She looked down at me shyly. In that moment, I suddenly remembered all the stars and models I had seen in my past life, but not one of them could make my heart race like this. Does it look okay? She asked softly. I didn't answer. I just stared at her. The sales assistant standing nearby whispered, "Ma'am, this outfit was practically made for you." Xu Meng pursed her lips and smiled, looking at herself in the mirror. Then she picked up the price tag. The smile on her face instantly froze. She turned around, her eyes wide with panic. "Honey, this one dress is 6,800 yuan. I handed my card to the assistant and pointed to another outfit on the rack.
That set and the skirt next to it.
Bring them all for her to try on. Xu Meng quickly grabbed my arm, lowering her voice. It's too expensive. I ignored her and nodded to the assistant. Go ahead. The assistant's eyes lit up and she hurried over to the racks. A few minutes later, the fitting room door opened again. She stepped out in a navy blue velvet gown. The plunging neckline fit her perfectly. The waistline was tailored with incredible precision. No need to try anything else. This light gray knit set, and that minimalist black dress too. Every single one looks amazing. It's not because the clothes are beautiful. It's because you look beautiful in everything you wear. Wrap them all up for me. After swiping the card, the employee handed back the card with both hands. Sir, ma'am, let me package these for you. Just then, Qian tugged on my hand Daddy, I need to go to the bathroom. I leaned down to look at her. All right, Daddy will take you. I turned to Shu Meng. Wait here. Okay. Just take the bags and keep an eye on our things. I'll take Qian Qian to the restroom. Well, be right back. She nodded. I led Qian Qian toward the mall's restrooms. I only found out later that shortly after I left, two young women walked past the store. One of them happened to glance inside and suddenly stopped in her tracks. Cousin Shu Meng turned around and was stunned to see who it was. This girl, Zhao Yu, was Shu Meng's cousin, Lu Xiaoyu. Lu Xiaoyu hurried inside. She looked her cousin up and down. It really is you. I thought I was seeing things. Shu Meng smiled. What are you doing here? I have a dinner date with a classmate. Lu Xiaoyu's gaze lingered on her cousin, specifically on the dress she hadn't had time to change out of yet. Cousin, are you buying clothes here? Shu Meng awkwardly tugged at the hem of her dress. No, I'm just looking around. Another girl beside her stepped in as well. She observed Shu Meng curiously.
Lu Xiaoyu suddenly realized,
This is my cousin. Cousin, this is my classmate. We're gonna grab a bite together? Nice to meet you. Shu Meng nodded to the girl. Nice to meet you. Shu Meng nodded to the girl.
well, head upstairs first.
I'll call you later. Lu Xiaoyu pulled her classmate outside. As soon as they left the shop and turned the corner, the friend immediately pulled Lu Xiaoyue back. Zhao Yue, your cousin is seriously rich. Lu Xiaoyu was stunned. Rich?
No way.
Everything in that shop costs at least several thousand yuan. The friend glanced back. I just saw a huge pile of clothes on the counter. She must have bought all of them. For real. Lu Xiaoyu slowed her pace. I heard my wife ran into her cousin by chance. I didn't pay much attention to it. 2 days later, we went to a car show. Our goal was clear. Regarding the commercial vehicle, Shu Meng had already cautioned me on the way. Hubby, let's not buy anything too expensive. Something around 100,000 to 200,000 yuan is fine. I nodded. Whatever works. In my past life, what kind of luxury car hadn't I driven? To me, cars were just a means of transportation. We entered the exhibition hall. We followed the crowd. As we passed the Volkswagen booth, Qian Qian suddenly stopped. Daddy. Look, Daddy. She pointed at a car, her face full of excitement. It was a classic-style Beetle, pastel pink. Amidst a forest of cold metal machinery, it looked like a fairy tale that had lost its way.
It's so cute.
Qian tugged my hand. This car would look great on Mommy, and it suits me too. I looked down at her. Do you like it? The little girl nodded vigorously. I looked over at Shu Meng. She didn't say anything. She just quietly admired the car. Her gaze was incredibly gentle. Then she softly asked me how much it cost. I knew that look all too well. She clearly liked it but was afraid it was too expensive. She was secretly doing the math in her head. I waved over a sales consultant. Hello, sir. This high-end Beetle model has a list price of over 300,000 yuan. There are special offers during the car show. Shu Meng lightly tugged my sleeve. Hubby, it's too expensive. I ignored her. I said to the staff, do you have any in stock for immediate full payment?
Yes, sir.
The one in the showroom is available for immediate pickup. Shu Meng's grip on my sleeve tightened.
Hubby,
I turned to look at her. It's rare for both you and our daughter to like something. She was stunned. She was speechless. The consultants stood by, watching. Their eyes were filled with admiration. But how can I meet clients in a car like this? She finally found an excuse. Then we'll buy another commercial vehicle. I said it as if it were the most natural thing. I'll drive the commercial one. I'll use it for business. This one will be a private car for you and Qian. She looked at me. Her eyes grew slightly red. Listen, the car for you and Qian is settled. As for my business car, you go ahead and pick it. The price and brand are up to you. Okay, she gave a slight nod. Then she led Qian toward the other booths. I stayed behind to handle the paperwork. Half an hour later, the procedures were finished. Just as I was about to find them, my phone rang. Shu Meng's voice clearly sounded wrong.
Hubby, where are you?
Get over here. Quick, booth number 6. What happened? They pushed Qian. Get over here right now. Those last few words were laced with anger and anxiety. I hung up and immediately ran there. When I arrived, a crowd had already gathered. Pushing through, I saw Shu Meng half kneeling, holding Qian tightly. She was glaring at the person opposite her. Her face was flushed with rage. Qian was in her arms, her shoulders trembling uncontrollably. Opposite them was a woman, about 30 years old, wearing a black business suit, with an employee badge on her chest. The booth manager, she had her arms crossed. Beside her were several security guards.
What's going on?
I stepped forward. Meng saw me arrive, placed our daughter in my arms. then turned and lunged forward. Why did you push my child? She's only 4.